Sevgili gönül dostları, iyi akşamlar. Umarım keyfiniz yerindedir. Bugün özel yayınla buradayız. Bugün İngilizce yayını. Aslında Türkçe açıyorum ama İngilizce devam edeceğim belli bir süre sonra. Böylece yabancılara da, yani yabancı sevdiklerinize de bunu anlatabileceksiniz. Hoş geldiniz umarım. Hi from California. Okay. Hey. Hey to California. Actually, should I speak English or should I speak Turkish? Meraktan katıldım. Curiosity killed the cat diyelim buna. Şimdi şey yapayım. Hey Bora, I saw you. Okay, I'm gonna talk about nerve format in English for the low ones who cannot speak only English or other languages, but no Turkish. Hocam bu mavi top işi nasıl oldu ya? Anlamadım. Yeah, there are a lot of people. Okay, great. Şimdi I will start in a second in English. Bugünkü amaç, yani Türkler için söylüyorum, yabancılara ve yabancı dostlarınıza bunu anlatmak. Biraz evrensel bakmakla ilgili. That's the only, yani we are looking at universal neural format today. This is my first try out. This is my first try to tell these things in English. To be honest with you, I've been, of course, speak English for a while, but I've never tried out, telling these in English because I've been in Turkey for the last 29 years. Efendim, today as you, yani Türkçe soru soranlar, bugün konumuz Türkçe değil. Bir saniye. One second and I'll be starting with the English explanation of neural format. Hold on. I'm just saying that that we are starting. Hold on. And actually, we're going to have somebody, I think a Dutch person healed, and she, I think, is a cancer patient, and she's going to talk about her experience. She's Dutch, I believe. She has been working with actually a person who attended my seminar in Köln, Germany. Hi everyone. I know the number of people attending today will be less because not everybody knows English, but I'm trying. So this thing becomes international. Actually, I'm Barış Muslu. I'm actually a author in Turkey. Actually, I'm an engineer. I've been in the US from 1991 to 1995. Actually, I studied high school in Minnesota and university in Michigan Tech. I was an electrical engineer, and I never had anything to do with these brain things. Not professionally, at least. I always liked, to know how the brain works and everything, but that was more like, general hobby, basically. But I had a issue in 2005 where I felt so much pain. I felt like tingles, and I felt as if I had an MS, like or I was going to have an MS, or I was going to have a seizure, or like I was going downhill in a moment where I tried all the measures in normal medicine, and I had no solution for like 5 years at least. And actually I started out getting to know that the traumas are the main cause of most of the ailments, like sicknesses, illnesses, even including cancer. I've been going into this subject just to heal myself from my own, like my own illnesses. But it happened to be that I happened to get into some subjects where I thought they were like amazing, and I wanted to share them with the Turkish population actually. And I wrote my first book in 2011, and I've got actually 8 books right now, and they sold over 1 million copies. And as you might have seen, there are like over 3 million people following what I say, and there has been like thousands of people recovering from some, cancer, maybe diabetes, eczema, like with all the ailments you can ever think of. Even hunchback person could be like a normal person the next day. It's like miraculous healings were going on, but I had no power. That has nothing to do with me. And I'm going to try to tell you about what's going on. And I don't know how many Turkish and how many English people are there. I don't know how many people are watching this from abroad. Can I see am I on the right track? People are here. Annem anlamıyor. Actually, I want to know if bu arada from UK, okay, Turkish, I know. Okay. Alt yazı. Şurada bir tane kadın olsa da böyle geçse. Efendim, London. Actually, I'm gonna, yani şöyle ekranı şöyle çevirip sanki YouTube'a da öyle koysak mı oldum açıkçası. Hello from Indonesia, from Germany, okay, London, fine. Brooklyn, okay, from Tennessee, okay. Abi selam. Bu arada abim ve yeğenim de dinliyorlar. Okay. We'll try it. I mean, we'll try how many people. I actually I've posted on this like maybe 3-4 days ago that I was going to do an English session. Let's start with this. Maybe it goes somewhere. Okay. Çok eğlenceli. Şimdi önce böyle başlayayım, belki belli bir yerden sonra I will yani ekranı şöyle çeviririm. Şimdi actually I don't know, you probably don't know much about what's going on here, but people who don't know about this think we're healing stuff with wishful thinking. They think that they're like there's positive thinking and we are praying, or we are like doing some like positive thinking, and somebody gives us like does a favor, so we heal. People from like looking at like distance they think that we're into positive thinking, which is not true. As you get to know more about this, that what we're doing actually, you get to see how scientific and how rational this is. People don't really know what we're doing. They think we're doing like we are actually looking for miracles, but actually we are looking for normal stuff. This has to happen this way. This is actually, I think, a revolution, to be honest with you. That's why I'm trying this hard. As an engineer, anlamadan da dinleniyoruz. Thank you very much from Belgium. Just to give you an answer, I'm an engineer. And actually, I did an MBA here in Turkey too. I actually went to school, high school and university in the US, but when I came as an engineer and I did my MBA, I had nothing to do with these. But to have so many followers and writing so many books, the only reason is what I say works. That's the only reason. I have no titles. I don't go for a title. I'm not trying to have one. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm nothing, basically. But what I'm saying is true, and it works. Actually, to be honest with you, many people like in Turkey, like there are millions of people who have seen and went into this, and it has become a new era, like a new industry. Like millions of people are trying to recover from a lot of things from solving their traumas because it works. And there are so many other people who became professionals, and they kind of copied from me, to be honest with you. And it's like a whole millions of people. We are recovering from so many impossible illnesses just by solving traumas. And why does this happen? I'm going to try to explain. Okay? Evet, yine orada yeni bir gitar var. Arada bir deneriz. By the way, okay, some people who speak in English, you can translate me, yani Türkçe benim söylediğimi şey yapabilirsiniz. Şimdi, I am actually starting right now. You probably know that the brain has actually two distinct parts. One we would say are conscious, and the other one would say subconscious. But I actually call it what do I say? Like old brain. Yani old. I would say to be basic, I would say, let's say the old brain. And this brain comes from billions of years. Like it's got so many different reflexes, right? Like when you get excited, it starts pumping, And when you talk to people, like you're trying to present a new topic right now. What I'm doing is presenting, and you're suddenly heart starting pounding like crazy. And why does it do that? I mean, what's the point of pounding when you're trying to make a presentation? It's just that our brain, like the old brain, it's so old and actually so dumb, to be honest with you. It's so powerful. But it's coming from many millions of years ago. This software, it was actually there to make us fight or flight. But it is still doing that. Like while I'm scared, but I'm not scared. I'm just excited, and my heart starts pounding. Bop bop. It's trying to make me fight or flight, and it's trying to send all the blood through my veins to my arms and legs, so I can run or fight in a much easier fashion, or like a much more stronger fashion. That's the only reason. That's how kind of dumb it can be. Like, it's all the what it does is so old. All the reflexes are so old. So if you have a danger in your mind, in your conscious, if you're thinking about it, or if there's a shock there, that's, for example, you are fired from your work, or your boss yells at you, and you're like, oh my God, how can he do that? I can't believe it. I cannot digest this. I can't do. He really make a terror, and I'm so ashamed of this. I cannot believe what he did, and I'm so sad. I'm so angry for like days. But this is my conscious. My old brain, my old brain that is like millions of years ago, it didn't really have the boss, or it didn't really have like these meetings. Only it had digestion. So this brain is actually my brain, my old brain, which actually leads, which actually directs all the digestion, says that there's something which is not being able to digest it. It's just, I cannot digest it. So it actually pushes like a button so that it starts a procedure, a process, saying we cannot digest this stone in our stomach or our intestine, or it can be colon. It just decides where it is, just randomly. So it starts to actually produce more cells, so it can digest it. If your boss like really yells at you and you're so angry, for your old brain, this has nothing to do with the boss. It cannot really cope with it. It cannot understand the boss. It cannot understand work. It doesn't know what's going on with the work. It just knows something is not digested just from the feeling. Because my old brain, it actually directs all of my organs, but with very, very old laws, like very old reasoning. It came from mammals. Then there was like, first we were in the sea. Then we went out to become, first we were like, actually I don't know, remember the term right. It's been a while since I didn't speak English. That's why. But we ended up being a mammals, but that took like millions of years. Anyhow, it's just that there are these two parts. During a trauma, our brain pushes buttons, so it's trying to make us cope with the traumas, with the danger, and whatever organ it selects, that organ becomes sick, basically. But the reasoning is not to make it sick. It's just it overpowers. It just goes into turbo mode. Why? Because it says I'm not digesting the food, or I'm not digesting the stone, or there's like somebody's actually fighting, or somebody's actually I have to escape, or whatever. It's actually all these thoughts, which are much more clever or much more like abstract, has nothing to do with the old brain. They become so physical. Like all the abstract things and abstract problems we have in 2024, the brain doesn't understand. The brain doesn't understand the problems which are abstract. The old brain thinks of them as physical problems, like I have to fight, I have to digest, I have to secrete more some fluid from liver, or I have to get more oxygen, or I have to get more scent, or I have to do whatever. Because it doesn't understand the abstract problems we have. It doesn't understand school abstract, like it doesn't understand work, it doesn't understand money, it doesn't understand anything that we cannot get a hold of. It doesn't understand. It just thinks them as physical and real. That's why, to cope with that danger, it pushes these buttons. It pushes these buttons in the brain, which controls these organs. And since we have a memory, which if you don't remember an event, our body and our brain remembers it. Even if you don't remember during a trauma, it actually takes the emotion and the information and puts them in a little, let's say, a balloon, and kind of it keeps it somewhere in the brain. You don't even know where it is, but it has emotion, and it has the data of the trauma. Even if you don't remember anything, it's just a trauma with emotion, and you think it's over. You think everything is gone, and you survived. Even after you lived all that like bad moments, that hard moments in your life, you just say, "No, I'm fine. I'm still alive," and you just go on with your life. But that emotion and the data is there, and it's timeless, because your old brain, your primitive brain, is timeless. If you look at like subconscious and conscious, subconscious is known to have no time. That means whenever something triggers from a subconscious or your primitive brain, your old brain, it's processes as a new event. So you have this like a memory which you don't even have a hold of. You don't even remember. You don't have to even remember. It has this emotion and the data. It's there. It's just there. Whenever something that sounds or looks like or resembles, makes me remember that event, even if I don't have to remember consciously, it resembles that event or that trauma. This thing gets triggered with a scent, with a maybe a vision, something I hear, anything that sounds like or feels like or looks like this trauma triggers this trauma. So whenever this trauma is triggered, the brain pushes the button again. Why? Because this is a timeless thing. Data is timeless. You push, what pushes on it is actually something looks like it, or you remember that event, or you dream about it in your dream, or you go to the place where the trauma has occurred, or you see that person who made the trauma, or you see a person just like it, something makes you remember that trauma. It gets triggered. So whenever the trauma gets triggered, you go into like a vicious circle. Whenever this is triggered, your brain and your organs react. This is how the chronic illnesses, sicknesses become those sicknesses. Anyway, so the reason, actually, there are two reasons to remind you why this happens. Is the first one is that your primitive brain doesn't know the distinction between an abstract thing and a physical event. It tries to translate the abstract event and reacts within a physical way to protect you. So, for example, somebody shouts at you, whatever, how your mind perceives it, the body reacts. For example, if it perceives as an attack, it might make your skin thicker. If it's perceived as an attack, like somebody attacks you, saying blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah into your face, maybe your mind at that moment, your primitive mind perceives it as a threat or an attack. If it perceives as an attack, then that something happens with your skin wherever it's attacked. You get a mole, you get freckles, or you get pimples, for example, acne. If it perceives as being something you cannot digest, your digestive system starts working. But there's nothing to be actually digested, and there's nothing like a physical attack to be for the skin to be to thicken. It's just your brain is so primitive and is so old, doesn't understand these abstract traumas. That's why it's doing this. And the second important thing is that your time, in your primitive brain, is nothing there. It's timeless. So if it's actually if a trauma is kept in a little a box here, whenever something reminds me of that trauma, even though I dream about it or I see a person and I don't even remember it, it just reminds me of it unconsciously, subconsciously, then this gets triggered. So all the bad events that I've been living in my life is actually kept in these little boxes or in these little balloons where there's emotion and there's data. The thing is that the most important thing in the brain is the emotion, because the emotion is actually like a measurement item to measure how to prioritize things. For example, if something, while you're living it, you are very emotional and you are struggling and you're trying hard and you are very scared and you are very aggressive and that means there's so much emotion, and the brain says this is very important. So it keeps that emotion within the trauma. But if you kind of surrender, or if you know that what's going on is okay, and I'm gonna be okay, I'm fine, I accept whatever that is, the emotion is not that high, it's much lower. That's why a trauma is not there when you have less emotion. So actually the measurement system in the brain is the emotion. That's why to cure all these things, we have to work with the emotion. That's why we have to work with the emotion. But how? I mean, this is nothing like this is all natural and it's all rational. There's nothing extra, miraculous about this. This is just normal. These healings are perfectly scientific. The reason why these are happening is because in the first place, the brain is the source of the problem itself. The brain is the place where the problem starts. It's actually making the organs work in a way that creates sicknesses. The brain, there's like like let's say a virus, or let's say there's a short. It was like a short network, or let me see how we short circuit. Let's put it in an engineering way. Like there's a short circuit. There's something wrong with the brain, but that short circuit is within the trauma, and is to protect you from the trauma physically, from the organs. It's not to harm you. It's actually the brain is trying to protect you physically from the trauma, because it thinks still the primitive way it has begun. It's just it doesn't know the abstract things. The primitive brain, who handles all the organs, you know, your stomach, your all the like lungs, liver, whatever, kidneys, everything, your veins, your blood circulation, your like bones, your muscles, your tendons, everything, even your hair, even your skin, your everything in your system, the life is being handled by your brain, and that's the primitive brain. You don't live by thinking about it. It's automatical. It's done by the primitive brain. But these traumas changes the way your primitive software works. It overpowers the organ. That's why actually the problem is in the brain itself. So the only way to solve these problems, like all these health problems, is to find at which moment the health problems were triggered in your brain. That's how the miracle happens. That's the only thing we do. But that's so critical. If you don't find the first moment when these events were lived, it's useless most of the time. Because it's just like there's a short circuit, and to solve the short circuit, you have to find it. Otherwise, you're just, you're praying, you're sending good luck, you're sending positive thinking. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about solving the short circuit. And short circuit is a trauma. That's why to heal, the first step is to find the trauma, to find the moment where your brain does this. What's the danger? What's the danger moment? You have to find the dangerous moment. If you don't find the dangerous moment, there's not much luck. But luckily, normally we find the dangerous moment, because it's. I will tell you about how to find the trauma, how to find the dangerous moment. Guys, arkadaşlar, Türkçe bugün İngilizce yayın diye şey yaptık, o yüzden we're trying to help our international friends today. It's a special occasion that this is the first time I'm ever trying this. Actually, I haven't been speaking English for a while, because I've been here for 29 years actually in Turkey, and I'm seeing that my English has been is actually a little lazy. I haven't been speaking English for a while, so I haven't spoken about these in English as well. I've been here in Turkey. It's been 13 years since I wrote my first book, and I've been always speaking in these in Turkish. That's why forgive me for my bad English. It doesn't. It's been a while. Okay. and I didn't really like study this, to be honest with you. I didn't study to speak English. I'm trying my best to tell these in English. With my, we'll get better. I mean, as I do this more, maybe I'll get better speaking about this. Anyway, so to find this short circuit, you have to find the moment of the trauma. How? How to find the trauma? As we all say, the trauma is lived approximately to 5 years before when the problem has begun. Like, for example, if it has begun like in 2015, you would go up till 2010. Like, normally after the trauma, you normally get the first signs of the problem, whatever it is. Like, if you lived the trauma in 2000, the year 2000, you would get the signs till 2005. So whatever, like, the first question you have to ask yourself is, when did this problem first begun? When? When? You have to think about that. I'm not talking about the first time you went to the doctor. I'm talking about the first signs of the problem. When did it start? For example, if it was like an intestine problem or like a stomach problem, when did you feel the signs? When did you feel there was something changing? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so whenever you want to find the trauma of a problem, you have to first find the beginning of the problem. Whenever you have to, if the problem has started in 2010, like you are for sure it's 2010, then you would say, okay, my trauma is from 2005 to 2010. It could be 2005, 2006, 2007, 8, or 9, or 10. These years. Anyway, the second information to find the trauma, we know what kind of problems are caused by what kind of problems. It's actually in the last 4 of my books. Like eczema is always caused by separation. Like acne is always caused by attack. Like, let's say, stomach problems are caused by either like indigestible anger, or is how would I say, like somebody invasion of a territorial issues. Alana müdahale ile şey yapıyorum. Territorial, like invasion of a territory from outside. That which means somebody is coming into your space, invading your space or your territory. Like ulcers and some stomach cancers are caused by territorial issues. But like stomach cancer is also caused by indigestible anger, or like testes or like ovary problems are mostly caused by losing of a person, separation. Actually, there's this person. How are your thesis proved? How can you be sure? Actually, I have to tell you about the beginning of this. I went into this at 2008. It's been how many? Like 16 years almost. I wrote my first book in 2011. Hopefully, you have to see how many people are recovering from incredible problems. I could actually let me before I go on. I asked for somebody actually offered me to talk to a cancer patient who recovered with working with a actually a person who attended my seminar in Germany. She speaks English. She's Dutch. I never met her. I will try to connect her if she's here. Hold on. Michelle Van Maurik, if you are here, go to yes. Actually, knock on the table 3 times. If Michelle Van Maurik, if you are here, and Michelle, yeah, right, that's her, right there. Okay. Miss Michelle, I cannot get you into the broadcast live feed. Something wrong. Can you log out and log in again? Elect Edual. Actually, I'm seeing you, but whenever I press your name, I cannot see the button where I can get it. I'll try something else. Hold on. There is no link to get you into the live broadcast. I see your name. I sent you a request, Miss Michelle. Oh, okay. Miss Van Morik, I'm waiting for you. I already sent it. Are you getting my request? Or can you change your phone? If you have your maybe daughter's or your son's phone or something, maybe it's from the phone. Actually, I'm seeing the person is Agle Udal is the person I'm waiting for, but I can't. She's not. It's not helping. Now I requested you by manually typing your name. No request. No request. Can you change your phone? Ah. Okay, I will try. Can you let me know, Miss Michelle? I will go on. She actually there was this person. Hold on a second. I'll get my glass and just water. I will show you couple of recoveries, I will translate what they're about. You will if you are very new here and you don't know what's going on, you'll get surprised. And I swear to God, I swear, there's nothing like fake about them, and they're totally real. Totally. There has been thousands of people. That's why actually I'm very glad to say this has been this my account has been very popular, and I have, there's like almost 462 people for this English broadcast. I've seen almost 100,000 people online for a let's say for a demo of session. We were doing a live session, and there was 100,000 people online. We did a demo, like a live session 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago actually, to be exact. 24,000 people were online. Why am I telling you this? Because people have seen so many people recovering from incredible problems. People. I mean, there's not really much question about that people are recovering. Hold on, I'm coming. Until Miss Michelle comes, I will show you a couple of Turkish recoveries. Then I will talk about how we solve the problems. Anyway, couple of very incredible, but one of the few ones.
7-8 sene boyunca aft problemi yaşadım. Yani Bursa'da gitmediğim doktor kalmadı. Böyle bir tane, iki tane afttan bahsetmiyorum. Küçük dilimde bile aft çıkıyordu. 2019'da Bursa seminerinize katılmıştım. Size yaklaşımım çok olumsuzdu. Hiçbir işe yaramayacak dedim. Seminerden işte bir süre sonra tam olarak o ana gittim. Yani birkaç gün içinde ben bir daha hiçbir şekilde geriye dönmedim. Yani bu yaralar tamamen bitti.
Well, she actually is. I mean, there are thousands of people like this. Is one of the interesting ones. There are so many interesting ones, but she had ulcers problem in her mouth, and she had like I mean, everywhere. She constantly, I mean, like was having Aptus ulcers. Okay, and it was incredible. It was just she actually said during this live feed that she didn't want to live anymore. That was how painful it was. Oh, Aptus ulcers, everybody gets them, but she was having excessive Aptus ulcers. Actually, she says she came to my seminar in Bursa, and she didn't really believe in it, and she didn't really give it much like value. Somebody really insisted on her attending. Couple of days after the seminar, she realized a moment. Actually, she said about, I mean, in the longer version, she said it was about an old boyfriend, like a previous boyfriend she had. And she had a moment where she couldn't speak about something. It was like a very, very painful, and where she was very angry, an event, a moment. And she went into that moment and she cleared her anger, and the ulcers were totally gone. And she actually reported 3 years later. she, she didn't just report it the next day. She went into the broadcast, live broadcast, saying I have to. I was very I really owe you something, and I have to tell you this. I was very, I was disbelieving to the system, and now all my ulcers was gone. Now I am reliving my life. I mean, so another one. Bu arada I'm doing this until
Eşimin beni dövdüğü ana gidiyor. Ay, tüylerim diken diken oluyor şimdi şu an. O an eşimle tartışıyoruz. Aldı beni bu yatağa attı. Üzerime de çıktı. Öbür eliyle de böyle vuruyor başıma. Ben oraya gittim o an. Ondan sonra o çalışmayı yaptım. Baş ağrım vardı eskiden. Böyle haftalarca süren bir baş ağrım vardı. Baş ağrılarım yok şimdi. Ve ben öğrenebiliyorum. Ezberleyebiliyorum. Ben 15 İsviçre'ye geldiğimden beri ben kızımın numarasını öğrenememiş bir bayandım. Bu benim için dediğim gibi bir Barış Muslu'dan öncesi var, bir de sonrası var. Yani hayatım, ben bambaşka bir insanım.
she's actually in Switzerland. She's a German citizen. Miss Selina actually has had so many healings. Okay. Oh, okay. We got her. Okay. Hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks for attending. I really appreciate it. And let's say I hope you heal very soon. Are you well now?
Yes, I'm very well.
Oh, great, great. I didn't know that. All I knew that Mr. Volkan was telling me that you were working with him and you had cancer, and that's all I know.
Yes.
Okay, you are from Holland, I guess.
Yeah. Yes,
Where in
I'm from
Holland?
Holland.
Because my sister lives in what is she? Amstelveen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know that.
And you live where?
In the south of Holland, but I originated from the area where your sister lives.
Okay, great. And actually, Mr. Volkan came to our Köln seminar, and he actually took me to a dinner, and he gave me all this food from his house, and some woman dropped me to Amstelveen from Köln. So I have many memories around that area. I know him well, Mr. Volkan, and he's very, very nice guy, and he's very, very, I would say, concentrated. That's his life. This thing is his life.
Yeah.
You probably know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What happened? You tell me.
1.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was a cancer that actually the tumor grew in 1.5 month time to 9.5 centimeters. So it was a quite big tumor.
Where was this tumor?
In the left breast.
Okay. So left breast. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
So this got to be about your
mama issue.
Your from your either your mom or your kids.
My mom.
Okay. And so is it private issue, or do you want to talk about it, or no?
No, it's not private.
Okay. Okay. You tell me, then we talk about the trauma. Okay, go on.
So I had to figure out what was going wrong, why this tumor had grown so fast, so big. But then I had to also go to the doctors and have all these chemos and go through the whole cycle of
Regular therapy.
Western
Medicine.
medicine. But next to that, I really wanted to also check out what can I do from my perspective, because I was already aware of the new German medicine that actually describes that the breast cancer, left-sided for right-hand-sided people, are coming from a trauma that occurred in the early age of childhood. And with Volkan, I then figured out that there was a tremendous trauma in the first hours of my life in this world. And that combined with a mother that actually was very cold-hearted, didn't make it better.
Oh.
So, and then, well, you just talked about 5 years prior to the whole
Cancer event. Yeah.
occurring. That's when I actually had a new relationship, and he was constantly pushing on the trauma area because of the manners that he actually, the way that he actually was talking to me, or treating me. So that triggered inside of me the whole trauma that I already had with my parents.
Okay. But that was mostly with your mom, right?
Yes.
But also with your dad as well, I guess.
He was absent, yeah, because I also, next to the fact that I had cancer, so the tumor on left, I also developed already at the same time a preliminary stage cancer of 7 centimeters on my right hand side. So that's actually the partner and father side.
Yes. So you had both sides?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, you're saying you had also on your right and on your left breast. Okay. So what did you do and how did this proceed?
I actually went to talk with Volkan to have the angers that were stuck inside my cells. I had them removed by rewriting, by being able to let go of the emotions that actually occurred in these first few hours of my childhood, of my life. And I removed my partner.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good. I mean, it's nice to remove the triggering part. Also, you
Yeah.
can. People ask me, for example, I'll just put a parenthesis here. People ask me like, okay, I'm forgiving my husband, okay, but I'm still suffering from the husband. What will I do? I'm saying, you're forgiving, that's okay, that's nice, but you have to make a change in your life. You cannot have the triggering thing in your life constantly. It just triggers the trauma most of the time. Okay.
Yeah. So he was too damaging for me, so I had to resolve this, because it wasn't going to get better. Because if you are able to make it better, to work it out between the two of you, then that's fine. But in this case, that would not be the case. So I had to, at some point, abandon the whole thing and say, yeah, it's for my better interest to stop this whole relationship.
Did you cry a lot during the was there a lot of emotion discharge?
Yes, because I was always a very strong, very well, I swallowed the whole thing during my my youth already. But the last year that I actually went through the whole trauma itself, I have really had strong emotions and let go of all um, the anxiety, but all the grief as well that was stuck inside. That's huge. It's tremendous. The amount of crying and the amount of pain that you actually feel coming from deep inside to get rid of.
How many hours of crying would you say? I'm curious.
Um, I think I have been sobbing for a week. Not the entire day, because I have two kids and I cannot be that far falling apart that they cannot be able to stay strong as they see their mother
Okay.
fall apart.
But to be like, okay, I will ask again. To sum up all your cries, like, half an hour there, half an hour there, half an hour there,
Yeah.
like there, what would be the total amount of cry? That was my question.
I think the total amount will be about 6 hours, I think.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's that's a lot, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
that's a lot. Do you cry very heavily?
Normally, no.
But did you cry very heavily during the
Yes.
session? Okay.
I couldn't stop it.
Okay. So actually, the discharge of the emotion is the healing. Actually, okay.
Yes.
And another question: how do you feel psychologically, like right now? Huh?
Strong and very positive.
Okay, then much positive than before, right?
Well, I'm back being positive again.
So it was like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened is that with my being with my parents, I had no life of my own, not being able to set boundaries or develop myself. And then at some point, a couple of years ago, I was able to find myself with my husband. He was able to get me strong and to give me confidence. It was a sense of belonging that was very good with him. And then, well, then 5.5 years ago, I came across the guy that actually pulled me back into the whole
Problem area.
dysfunctional system of my parenthood. Yeah,
Okay.
of my parents.
And I didn't ask you what was your trauma, after you were born. What happened there?
By accident, I had burns, third degree burns when they washed me in the hospital. So they were ashamed and put me away in an incubator for a couple of days without telling my parents, and they left me lying there all by myself. I was born a triplet, so I came from just a few hours before. I came from being inside a mother together with two other boys, and then all of a sudden I was all alone, in pain.
Wow.
Yeah. And there was nobody actually that looked after me. I spoke to a nurse that was actually in the hospital working when I was there. She took a picture of me laying in the incubator, but nobody actually was there to regulate my pain or my discomfort or my anxiety or anything.
So you felt really behind. You were left behind.
Yes,
Wow, that's huge.
that's big.
That's yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because but when did you get to know this though? This trauma? Did you know this while you were a child, or you're later?
Nope. Only later. Only later.
When?
I guess I was about 16.
And you work with this with Vulcan?
Yes.
Okay. So wow, I mean, you're a survivor.
Well, yeah,
You're a
these
survivor.
type of things will actually create strong people,
Yeah.
but it's not in a good way.
As survivor, there was this Destiny's Child song. Do you know, like, I'm a survivor. It's gonna get. Yeah, I wanted to play that, but there's the copyright issues. Well, yeah, you are a survivor. I mean, to be honest. And how did the treatment go? And how did you heal from the cancer? Like, what happened?
Well, Volkan was very good at actually making affirmations to at least tell what should have been, what was actually missed in the whole process, so that I should have been regulated, I should have been loved. So he would rewrite the particular part where the trauma is set, and then you let go. And that's what I actually felt, that you let go of the emotions, of the stuck emotions that are so deep within your body, in your chest, that after we were done that first time, I felt like there was a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Wow. And did he make you like face and talk to your parents,
Yes.
your mom, and
Yeah.
okay. And where did you cry the most? With who? Your mom?
Yes, with my mom.
Did you cry and cry a lot? Of course,
No,
probably.
it was not that long. It was quite okay. Yeah.
And with those facings, like to like what would I say? Not facing, but anyway, you know what I mean. Whom did you cry the most? With your partner?
No, with my mom.
With your mom. Okay. So and how did the cancer come about? Like, how did it heal? You like when since when as well? And can you tell me about the details?
Yes, I've done a couple of things. One of them is that I actually stopped eating all types of sugar types. So not sugar as sugar is meant to be the white sugar, but also the carbohydrates. So the pastas, rice, bread, all these type of things, because they all feed cancer cells.
Yes, that's.
So I only eat animal products now. So, and that was to starve the cancer itself, which after 2.5 weeks did already make a significant change in the whole structure. And then I had to start the chemo. And within 5 weeks, the chemo then also helped to blast away the whole tumor. So within 5 weeks, I had the whole tumor gone, which actually was not supposed to be, because I had to have the chemo for a half a year, so 26 weeks.
So that's very quick.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds very quick. So it's I guess the brain was helping, and your diet as
Yes,
well. We were saying I don't really talk about diets, but
I
I
know.
know that I know the theory of sugar and how it helps and everything. Anyway, it helps, feeding the
It also,
cancer. And everything.
yes, and it
Okay.
helps the mindset also because you feel very strong, and by feeling very strong, you keep your brain and your mindset completely focused on where you want to go, and that helps.
Okay. How long do you say you've been healed? Like, can you say for this month that I am well and they are saying I don't have cancer anymore?
The cancer has been gone already since last year. No, not last year, the year before. It was already in December 2022 that they actually said the cancer is completely gone. But then I also had still the preliminary stage, whereas that normally doesn't go away by itself. It has to be actually cut out, or else it will turn into
Yes.
to cancer.
Ah,
But last summer they checked again, and they found that my area of 7 centimeters had been already deducted to 2 centimeters, and now they're going to check again, and we will have a checkup with getting old material away to it's only 1 centimeter that they will get out by surgery, and then check if there's still active cells or if it's all gone.
well, that sounds great. Yeah, that sounds like very hopeful to all the cancer. I mean, all the people who have cancer. And actually, one last question for you: how did you get to know Volkan, and how did you decide to go on this? Like, how did you meet up?
Okay, I that's funny. I always buy my yogurt with him.
Okay, yeah. That's how I know him too. Yeah, I mean that's funny. He's a very nice guy. We were going from Düsseldorf, no, actually Köln, to Amsterdam, and his house was on the way,
Yes,
and
correct.
we had to go out of the way. I was on a different car, in a different car, and he made us go out of the way to his house, and he gave me all those yogurts and all this cheese and olives and everything, so he made me get, I mean, thanks to him, of course, but he's a very nice guy. And I took all these to my sister's house. They were like, oh, thank you so much. Since, I mean, of course, like, I live in Turkey, those are not very special to me, but they were so happy. They were like, they've been eating this for a while, all that olive. And yeah, I know what you mean. Well, your name is Michelle, right? I mean, your first
Correct.
name is,
Yes.
and your last name is the.
Van Maurik.
I mean, okay, I won't try that.
Yeah.
I've been to Amsterdam actually. I've been to Amsterdam quite a while. Quite. My sister has been living there since 2004,
Mhm.
and my brother-in-law probably 1996 or something. They've been like in one of the. He lived. He actually worked in one of the banks. And so I go there quite a lot. Hope to see you sometime. Maybe have you come with new healings. Actually, I don't know how much you know about me, but I also like one of the sources I was using was GNM, and I was using so many different sources, and we brought up getting all these sources, but in Turkey it became huge. I don't know if you know that. It's like there are hundreds of millions of people trying these, because
Yes.
I've been actually going with these broadcasts for 6 years,
Wow.
and there were like I mean, like, there were thousands of people who came in like you, and we've seen so many healings that were huge. Like, I've seen people healing from hunchback
Yeah.
in one night, from this to that,
Yeah.
like this to that. We've been, so many, it's like incredible stuff. Like, so thanks a lot, Michelle. I really appreciate it.
Thank
So
you
we
for
have,
your time.
that was a historical moment actually for me, because I've been doing this for 6 years and it became huge. And I'm thinking this is universal. It's not only Turkish. And
Nope.
there's so many people like saying that you have English books on or stuff like that. And I said, why not do this broadcasting in English once? And you are the first person ever to report that healing to
Such an
this
honor.
English. Yeah, I mean, such an honor for me too. And it's so nice that it's Holland. I'm so, like, my family lives there, so it's like a second country for me. I mean, it's like my sister lives there, so it's so nice that to have that connection. Thanks so much. Nice meeting you, and hope to see you again with so many good news.
Okay.
Okay.
I hope to see you too. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. The Volkan Bey, actually, I was speaking English. Oh, sorry. Mr. Volkan, he attended the seminar in Köln and Düsseldorf. We had one seminar. We were in Köln, and he took me to a Turkish restaurant. He fed me, and then we were with two cars. He was driving like in front of us. I was with a lady. She was going to drop me off in Amsterdam, and he made us go out of the road, out of our route, and he gave us all this olives and cheese. Uh, I was telling you, Volkan Bey, teşekkür ediyorum. Eksik olma, inşallah çok daha fazla. I hope to get more international people. I didn't really try out to get a lot of international healings. I'm sure there are so many international healings as well. Hediye Hanım, hello. Actually, I was showing you more healings. Of course, these. I was showing you this. Remember?
Ana gidiyor. Ay, tüylerim diken diken oluyor şimdi şu an. O an eşimle tartışıyoruz. Alı beni bu yatağa attı. Üzerime de çıktı. Öbür eliyle de böyle vuruyor başıma. Ben oraya gittim o an. Ondan sonra o çalışmayı yaptım. Baş ağrım vardı eskiden. Böyle haftalarca süren bir baş ağrım vardı. Baş ağrılarım yok şimdi. Ve ben öğrenebiliyorum. Ezberleyebiliyorum. Ben 15 İsviçre'ye geldiğimden beri ben kızımın numarasını öğrenememiş bir bayandım. Bu benim için dediğim gibi bir Barış Muslu'dan öncesi var, bir de sonrası var. Yani hayatım, ben bambaşka bir insanım.
Actually, to summarize, she's from Switzerland. I'm just going on to the recent ones. She's saying that there was this time I was, she actually worked with our colleagues in Turkey over the phone online. She's been working for like 4 or 5 years, every week almost, and she has like tens of 20s of healings. Like I cannot even remember. They were like so many different problems. But with this one, she's telling that I didn't have any memory. I couldn't learn anything. I couldn't even learn my daughter's telephone number. I was like, but I actually went into a time, like to the moment where my husband, my ex-husband, she was punching me, and Actually, I'm not going to say the details, but we work on that moment. And she said, my memory has been, memory has come, and I can learn now, for example. And let's see, like, very interesting stuff again. Like,
Eğitimlerinize de katılmıştım. Benim büyük oğlum hiperaktivite tanısı konuldu. Onu kaybetme duygusu yaşadın mı dedi hamileyken. Evet dedim. Eğer yaşıyorsan hareket et dedin değil mi dedi. Evet dedim öyle dedim. İşte çocuk hala sağlıklı olduğunu ispatlamak için hareket halinde dedi sürekli sana. Ve çalışma yaptım. Hiç durmayan çocuk hareketi durdu, kilo aldı. İşte aslında ben sizin eğitimlerinize de katılmıştım. Benim büyük oğlum
she's saying that I also attended the seminars, and my older son, very, very hyperactive. And actually, what they worked on it was her pregnancy, like the mom's pregnancy. This is something which I haven't talked about, but not only our traumas make us sick, also if especially a woman's a pregnant woman's traumas, especially during pregnancy, the traumas transferred to the to the child. And the interesting stuff is that there are ways to solve it, but if the mom solves the problem, solves the trauma, which actually causes the problem, the trauma is in the mom, her mind. If she actually solves that trauma, the child heals. And the child has no information about trauma. And nothing is said to him, but he heals. This was amazing. This was kind of like, oh, the supernatural to me at first. I was like, what's going on? I mean, like the child doesn't know you know what happened, like that the mom's brain tell the child's brain to that you can heal well, but it's a long story. I mean, I'm not there yet, but this healing says my kid was hyperactive, and the trauma I worked on was my fear of losing the kid. uh, I was telling the kid to move. I was telling the kid to move. You know, move. So tell me that you're living. Tell me you're alive. Tell me you are alive. Tell me that you live. So like actually the mom is actually ordering the child to move. So, you know, prove that you are alive. Prove that you're alive. Move, so prove that you're alive. So the kid becomes hyperactive. The mom solves this, and the child is not hyperactive anymore. He gains weight. Okay. They're like I'm going. No, they're like, as I'm saying there are like thousands of different stories. I'm giving you like this is probably the most surprising, the most amazing one. This is the one I've been telling you about.
İnsanlar. Ben böyle bir insandım. Ben kambur bir insanım. 11 yaşındayım. İlkokul 5'e gidiyorum. Öğretmenim bizi 4 kişilik tahtaya çıkardı. Bir daha dedi bu lastik ayakkabılarla okula gelmeyeceksiniz. O zamanlar durumumuz gerçekten yoktu. Kendime böyle eye kimse beni görmesin, arkadaşlarıma rezil oldum. Ben buna çalıştım. Nasıl ağlıyorum? Aslında niçin çalışmıştım? Valizlerim için. Komik gelebilir, inanmayabilir bazıları ama benim kamburum geçmiş. Ben böyle bir insandım. Ve bir gecede sabah kalktım dimdik. Yani benim şu an böyle durmam imkansız.
This is the one I was telling you. She's from Antalya, actually. She was a hunchback. I mean, like a real hunchback, like hunchback of Notre Dame. Of course, I know the long version. That's why I can't tell you the long story. She is trying to solve her like very. How do you say? Very. Very ama like there has to be. I don't remember the English version for it. Anyway, the something about the you know you have blue veins in your leg. That's what. Anyways, she's trying to solve her leg, leg veins basically, and the trauma for that is to be to somebody makes you wait while you're standing and you feel very degraded. You feel very like selfless, powerless, and you have no value. You're valueless. That's the problem. Like you feel very bad being like because your legs are they have no value. That's kind of the problem. So she thinks, this is the trauma. The trauma is she's in the fifth grade, and she's very, let's say, poor. She has poverty, uh, and she's wearing nylon shoes, basically because she has no money, and the teacher uh, lets like four little girls who are wearing these shoes in front of the blackboard, and she made them wait for 5 minutes, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so degraded. Everybody's looking at me. What will I do?" And she's like a very emotional, sensitive girl, and she's like, "What's gonna happen?" And she's a very good student too, and she's waiting and the teacher says, "You'll never wear those nylon shoes again. I won't ever see that." But I mean, it's very degrading because those shoes are for very poor people. They're not very fancy shoes. They're for very poor people. There's nylon shoes. Anyway, she wants to be small, and just she wants to diminish like this. That's the trauma. And she works on the trauma. She really cries her eyes out. She really cries her eyes out like for almost an hour, and she just falls asleep because after you do a trauma release, this is a very powerful moment, and you become very tired actually, and she sleeps till the morning, and she gets up, looks at her varices, the veins, and nothing different there. And she looks at, the mirror, and she's no hunchback anymore. She's normal. I mean, by the way, I mean, the whole night she had very, she had pain she felt pain as she was healing, of course, in her shoulders and everything. But amazingly, she didn't even try to heal that. But since the trauma was healed, the cause is gone, so the problem, the short circuit is solved, so the brain doesn't need to do whatever it's doing anymore. So actually, it's as I was saying in the beginning of this live broadcast, was saying the brain is not trying to make you sick. The brain is reacting to a danger in a stupid way, short-circuiting the network, the software. Anyways, couple of more, and I will be. I mean, I wish there were these in English. I mean, because these are like international.
Ayağın ayağıma değmesin dedi. Benim ayağım hiç kimseye değmedi. Hayır, orta kısımları tamamen yarıktı. Altın yıkmanda boşanalım dedi. Çocuk küçük, 4,5 yaşında oğlum. Dedim ki bugün o zaman aynı yatakta yine evliliğimiz sürüyormuş gibi yatalım. Ayağın ayağıma değmesin dedi. O tarihten sonra gerçekten ayaklarımda sedef başladı. Bugün iş yerinde çektiğim resim. Ve inanamıyorum. Bu hale gelmesine inanamıyorum.
This is one of the very emotional ones too. This woman, of course, I know the longer version because I was the one who listened to it. She actually has, what do you say? What was it said? Bir dakika. Sedef'in İngilizcesi. I'm getting şeyle başlıyor, bir dakika. Something. My mind is not working anymore. Psoriasis. But I cannot say it. I mean, it's like eczema, but it's psoriasis. Yeah, psoriasis. Psoriasis, of course. In like bottom of the feet, but it's like they were like cuts. I mean, it was like huge, very psoriasis. They were very extreme, and the trauma is she was divorcing, but she had a little kid, and that was that was his birthday that day. And for the last time, there's a family, and she said to her ex-husband, saying, let's lie together and sleep together tonight, as a family, so our son is happy. And the ex-husband says, don't let your feet touch my feet. And she was so sad. She was like, she was totally destroyed with that, like, actually probably she loved her, probably maybe she had hopes to be still let the marriage go, but she felt so bad. And it's just where she would put her feet, she lost the contact. That's her bottom of the feet, and she would normally, touch her husband's feet with the bottom of her feet. So the bottom of the feet had the problem, because with the skin problems is the loss of touch. Wherever you lose a touch is the problem. The eczema or psoriasis or other like skin problems is where you lose the touch is the skin problem. Anyways, so what do you do? Actually, as I was telling you, this to solve these problems is to solve the cause. If you don't if you don't find the cause, where the short circuit is, you cannot solve the health issue. You just can't solve it. The miraculous thing is where the short circuit is in your mind, to find the moment that very extreme emotion, that extremely high emotion was lived. Actually, it was experienced. Where was it at that moment? You go to that moment and you do what we do is to discharge this emotion, basically. I will let you know about what we do actually, but it's a very long subject. Actually, it's just like this is almost like to tell you in this in 5 minutes is asking Freud to tell you what he does in 5 minutes. It's I would say it's like a operation of psychology or operation of trauma. You operate the trauma actually. Basically, it's a trauma. As I'm saying, is like a tree. It's like a tree. It has many branches. These branches is the data. It's like the connections in your brain. These are all branches, and the branches has no problem. If the data has no problem, but the branches have a little what we say. Hold on, let me find the right word. I mean, let me see. Ivy. Yeah, ivy, but it's not really ivy. Yeah, I would say ivy. Yeah, sarmaşık. Okay. Yeah, Ivy League school. Yeah, of course. But I mean, these branches, it's fine, but they have ivy around them. But these ivy is not good. It's just that's the emotion. With all this data, the emotion of danger makes this trauma uh, alarming in the mind. Knowing living this trauma is fine. I mean, if you were emotionless, if you were very relaxed, if you were to live at like a bad event, your brain would not get affected by it because you have no emotion. Because the emotion makes it significant. The more the emotion, the more significant it is. So actually, the data is the branches. The emotion is the ivy around the branches. We separate the ivy around the branches one by one. These are all the information of the trauma. It's not one single unit. It's not like a balloon, as I was saying, because a balloon, once you like a pin, like if you put put a pin, it will just burst, and it would just go away instantly. It's not like that. It's harder. It's like a branch. It's like has different connections, different parts of the trauma, and you have to go to all the branches. What I mean is that actually you go to the trauma time at that moment. You just live. It's just like a time travel. If you're like right now, if you're 40 and the trauma is when you were 12, you go and become 12 years old. You go to the year 1985. You just it's a time travel, and you close your eyes and you go to that moment. You relive that event. It's actually a simulation of the trauma. It's a it's a simulation of the trauma. You just simulate the trauma as much as possible. But this time, after you go to all these branches, you have to get rid of these emotions. You have to get rid of the ivy around the tree branches. To do that, we what we do is to surrender to the trauma. We surrender to the trauma. To degrade the trauma, to make it less significant, you cannot. I mean, the more you fight, the more alarming it gets. If you fight with a trauma, this means this signals in your brain that the trauma is very important and it's very emotional because you're fighting with it. To degrade it, to like make it less important, you have to surrender to it. You have to surrender to it. That's the only way to release the trauma. It's like if you go to a trauma and you're saying, I'm accepting it, I'm surrendered to it, then the brain understands, we don't have to fight anymore with the trauma because he is actually surrendering to it. I mean, so there's no alarm needed anymore. That's the only reason a trauma could be released, by surrendering to it. If you fight with it, you actually trigger the trauma. The only way to degrade the alarm, okay, is actually by surrendering to it. But as I was saying, this is not just like saying I am surrendering. It's just like an operation, but you go to branches one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. For example, you go to the trauma and you live that moment with all the voices, all the feelings. If you are breathless, you become again breathless. You see what's there. You think what you were thinking. You hear what you are hearing, and you actually go through the trauma, but this time you surrender to it. And also, I'm sorry, I was kind of, this is very important. That's what I wanted to get away the writing. Anyway, to solve the problem, this, as I was saying, this is a time travel. You go to that time, you become that person. It's not a therapy, it's a time travel. You become that person, you become in that body, you see through those eyes. You are there and you live, you go through all those branches, you simulate all the things, but this time you surrender. That signals your brain that the trauma is not important because you are surrendering to it. Also, there you actually think of people who are you actually have anger to people. You think they are the one who's in charge. They are the problem, and you have anger to them, and there are two different options. You're either angry to the ones around you, or you're angry to yourself. So actually, you also forgive within this problem thing too. So it's not only the moment, you have to forgive the ones who are in charge, who are guilty, by the way, because you're saying, you really blame this, you blame them for the trauma, you keep them in charge, you blame them, so you have to also forgive them, forgive them, and you have to forgive yourself too. That's the kind of the trauma, but it's a process. There's so many different details to do this well, but it's all with the emotion. It's not what you're saying actually. It's not. Uh, it's not what you see. It's not what you hear. It's not. It's not. It's not the language. It's the emotion. Bu arada artık yavaş yavaş is everything well? Bu arada şey gitti, durdu gibi oldu da okay, the messages are back. The English broadcast is over. What? Let's not say it's over, but what can you do? I mean, this is just a introduction, basically. It's a long story. As I was saying, to be successful in this, first you have to get to know what your problem is. Then you have to know where the circuit has been, like where it was, but what's wrong with it. Short circuit, kısa devre, where it is. That's the trauma. Once you get to know what's the trauma, you have to solve the trauma. Solving the trauma is kind of a process. If you solve the process uh, by actually going into many different moments of the trauma, you're making all these releases, and you cry. Basically, you release a lot of emotions. Then your body, your mind says the problem is over, because the mind decides on what is important by the emotion. That's the only reason we are working with the emotion. As I was saying, if there's emotion captured within the trauma, if it's captured, if it's there in the box or in this balloon, if there's a lot of emotion, this gets triggered because there's a lot of emotion. That's the measurement. That's the unit of measurement. The unit of measurement in the brain for what is important is feelings. The unit of measurement in the brain of significancy is emotions. If you have a lot of emotions, it's significant. That's important. If it's not emotional, there's nothing to do about it. The more emotion you feel at a certain moment, the brain says this is important. The less emotion you feel, it says I don't care. So in going to the traumas, we go to the trauma. It was a huge trauma. There were a lot of emotions. If you release all these emotions that are captured that are held in the brain, and if we release them, these traumas become less significant. They just are like negligible. And once they become negligible, they have no significance in the brain. The brain doesn't trigger them because there's no emotions. It becomes just normal data. So what I was saying, the tree had branches. That's a trauma. We get rid of all this ivy in the branches, and it becomes a normal tree. And the tree has no significance. It's just data. What makes it very, very important is the ivy around the leaves. We separate the ivy from the branches itself. That's what. And what do you do? I mean, of course, it's a Turkish-speaking country, and to be honest with you, we are the country that this thing is the most popular ever. We are like not compatible. Yani all these other countries other than Turkey, and they don't really have this experience that we have. This broadcast in Turkish has been going for 6 years. There has been like thousands and thousands of people are working on their traumas, and they get healed. They recover from their sicknesses, their problems, psychologically and physically, basically. And that's it. I mean, what can you do? Learn Turkish and join us. Of course not. I mean, by the way, I mean, we have three English speaking psychologists in my team. We have actually French speaking, German speaking as well. In our team, psychologists who are in my team. There are actually 32 psychologists working for me at the moment, because this thing is very big in Turkey, much bigger than you think. The reason there are only 300 people in right now is that they don't understand us. That's the English people here. They were here probably, but they got bored and they left. The non-speaking people. Yes, there are actually French-speaking people too. There are French-speaking people who do sessions in French, German, and English. You could call up the number down. Actually, it's with a country code 90. You can see my profile. There's a number there. You can message us. Anyways, this is just the beginning. That's the first day, and I'm actually this is my first time speaking these subjects in English. Actually, it's been a kind of hard, to be honest with you, because I just don't know the terms in English that well. I didn't really practice this, and that would have been very boring, to be honest with you. It's improvisation. Of course, I know English a little bit. I mean, I forgot about it. I mean, I haven't been speaking English for a while. It's been 29 years since I've been back from United States, as I was saying. Since anything that is not goes away, just like a muscle, and that's the way it is right now. And that's it. That was the English. Uh, Bugünlük, by the way, our foreign friends, hope you will find and spread this word. Trust me, there's like a paradigm shift going in Turkey. There are like hundreds and thousands of, I mean, there are like millions of people realizing there is a wake up call, and a lot of people are already awake, that it's their own brain that causes these physical and psychological problems. And the brain during a trauma gets a short circuit to protect you from from actually physical trauma, physical events, as it doesn't know about abstract psychological traumas. Everything you experience psychological for the primitive brain, for the old brain, is physical. That's why it's coping with the traumas, with the organs. And since the organs are in the vicious circle, constantly getting triggered, we are in a vicious circle with the chronic ailments, sicknesses, illnesses, chronic problems. And by going into the short circuit and going to the trauma and releasing that uh, miracles happen. I hope I hope I did explain. It wasn't my best. It's been a while, as I was saying. It's gonna get better because I don't speak English too much. I've been in Turkey for 29 years straight. That's why. But join us. Hopefully, maybe we're gonna do seminars in English. Let me tell you something. Just look at this. The reason for the success here, there are two reasons. Before I quit, there are two reasons. One, we are on the right track. We are looking at the right direction. The traumas, they are like the milestone of the brain. They are like the cornerstone. If somebody takes them away, the whole thing collapses. Your brain works according to your traumas, because traumas are the dangers. It's for survival. Trauma is a danger that could kill you. That's how the brain perceives it. We are on the right track. Second, we have a system that works very emotional and very intensely. It's a very quick system, very quick system. I'll show you before I go to I showed to my colleagues in Turkish. This is how fast actually is the system, because we go it's actually uses tapping, but in a very different way. It's much faster than traditional EFT. If you know about it, I would say it's much times and times faster than EFT and everything. If you write Barış Muslu and köpek, which is Turkish in dog for Turkish. Sessizlik. Okeydir. Şimdi burslara başlayalım. Şu an ne hissediyorsun? Korku nerede sevgili Fatma? This is dog phobia. Korkma.
Soğuk duyguları.
That's a dog.
Artık soğuk. Ama korkuyla
This is live TV. It's one of the. Bundan rahatsız olduğum için.
bunlar rahatsız olduğu
Aslında
için.
korku bana zarar verdi.
Aslında bu korku.
I did this 4 or 5 times in very network, this is probably the most popular TV network in Turkey, and I've done this twice in the government network TRT1, live, everything live. Phobia, 5 minutes for dog, 10 and 20 minutes 30 minutes for a cat. The cat one was a little longer, but this is very, very fast. Anyways, the reason this is very fast is it's very intense and it's very emotional. We are not afraid of going into the emotion. Emotion is the reason. We work only with the emotion. Anyways, you can check if you write Barış Muslu, maybe you might get subtitles in English, of course, because right now everything is AI and you can hear it. You can say Barış Muslu köpek, Barış Muslu kedi. There are so many videos and there are so many healings in this profile as well. Anyways, today was the introduction. I hope you guys understood what I was saying. I try to do my best, and I kiss you from your hearts and your souls. I will actually save this. Have a good night. Bu arada we'll see you all. I will do this again maybe every month. I will try this. We'll get more international. Please play the new guitar for us, sir. Not tonight. On Thursday, when we have peace, huzur. Efendim sevgili gönül dostları, İngilizceydi yani yayında ne dediğim gibi. Yarın da özel bir yayın yaparız. O gitar evet daha önce kullanmıştım bu arada diğer evde. O enteresan bir gitar. Huzurda da çalarım inşallah bu perşembe. İyi geceler diliyorum. Kendinize iyi bakın. Tatlı rüyalar, mutlu uykular. Yarın gece görüşmek üzere. Hoşça kalın.